Hey, this is John Carlos, and I'm here with a look at the DC Collectibles action figure of a White Canary from DC's Legends of Tomorrow. This is a pretty simple figure. There's not much to it in the ways of like costume, it doesn't come with a lot of accessories, and yet I like it. It's well done, and it also helps that, I like the White Canary, and I like Caity Lotz, and seeing the action figure of the White Canary is pretty cool, and I think they did a pretty good job with, achieving the overall figure. Pretty good likeness on the face. I mean, as far as you can get, in this like 6-inch, 7-inch scale. I mean, you definitely get a sense that it is Caity Lotz, even if you could nitpick about the size of the eyes or the shape of the mouth, but really it does read like her lips. I think they did a pretty good job of the eyes, the cheeks and the nose, it's all pretty good. We'll get a better look at that, closer look in a minute. I just want to focus on the costume because I think they did a great job with it. The boots look good, especially like the two straps going across the front there. The pants look good. The little ribbing on the knees looks good. The only thing I take note of is the belt. I like the little silver panels on the front, but there's usually these two big like side pockets, like big pouches on the side, at least for seasons 1 and 2 that are absent here. I'm not really sure why, because it's generally how she's depicted, aside from like the top, which has all the lines on it that it would have, and like the wrinkling for the upper chest section. But I do like it when she rocks her jacket. She had like a longer jacket for a little bit, but also like this short jacket that was pretty much sleeves and then kind of met right at the side of the corsety top. I always dug that jacket. I consider it her main look, or at least my favorite look, and them not going for that makes sense, only in that it's less to sculpt and design. Like these shoulders and arms are way easier than, more fabric and more details of that jacket and all that. So I get it. Here's a look at the back of the figure. I mean, the figure is considerably gray, but if you watch the show, even though she's called White Canary, it is a dark, dirty white that is like a dark cream. Almost gray. So yeah, here's a closer look at the way it kind of stitches up in the back, the little details on the belt, details on the back of the stuff, the legs. There is sort of a wash that goes over the white to give it kind of a dirty gray effect. If you want to get nitpicky, maybe it's a little bit too gray, but whatever. The skin sculpt reads fine, and they did a great job with that. So let's take a closer look at the face, because I think this is pretty good. Is it perfect? No. You can see the paint job on mine. Her left eye is kind of looking up a bit. I saw a couple of these in stores, and none of the eyes were perfect. In fact, this one's right eye, there's like a black line that should be going over the top of it that's not fully painted, but the eyelashes look pretty good. The eyebrows are cleanly painted. The other one I saw didn't have full eyebrows. I think, yeah, the sculpt on the chin, the sculpt on the lips, I think her nose, cheeks, forehead all read well. Be on the lookout. I saw, like the other one I saw, like the hair was closely matted to the face and kind of in the wrong position, so it was kind of flared out more than it should, like it would cock back on the back of the head more. The sculpt of the hair is really good. I'll explain what I mean by the kind of cocked back. Like right now, she's looking forward. It looked like that, but with her head up, so that it was kind of... So yeah, be on the lookout for that. The articulation on this is pretty good, although with this hair, if you have her looking down, you do get a little bit of floaty hair, but you get the basic kind of like ball joint in the shoulder and the hinge swiveling kind of like ball at the elbow. No double elbow joint, but like, with this thin of an arm, a double elbow joint would be a really ugly sculpt. You get the hinge swiveling wrist, the hinge inward. There is no waist cut. There is no mid-thigh cut, but the legs do hinge outward and forward and back. There is a double knee joint, and then there's no ankle joint. There's no swiveling ankle joint, but the boots do swivel. Now, she comes with a pair of alternate open-palmed hands, and then a pair of grippy hands, and these are for gripping her staff. And when I first saw this staff, I was like, oh man, I hope that splits in the middle so you can have her holding the two little batons, and it does. They're not even. This one's a little bit longer, but still, you get the effect. I like that the staff can split up into the two batons because it kind of, lets you mix up how you pose the figure. The only drawback to this, and well, a lot of the DC Collectibles figures, is the limited articulation does not allow you to get them in very dynamic poses. Like if you wanted to bring her arm a little bit closer to her face, well, you can't. And then also the the limited articulation of the ankles means that even if you spread her legs and pivot her boots and bend her knees, you can't stabilize the footing on an even plane, so you can't get her in very many actiony poses with the feet. You can't do anything too dynamic, so that's a bit of a problem. Other than that, though, as far as like having her standing there with kind of straight legs, you can do some pretty basic baton poses with her arms. I like the sculpt. The head can move at least. I do wish the waist moved, because that would give it more dynamic, kind of like leg to hip to torso range, but still, this looks pretty good. As a fan of White Canary, I think this, well, it looks good. It rocks. I'm pleased. Meh. So there you go. Thanks for watching, everybody. And if you want, follow me on Instagram and Facebook and all that stuff.